I'm Asu and welcome to another build diary. The whole point of this video is to give you a feeling for a build played on my Path of Exile stream without min-maxed gear. I also want to show you the progression of my character and what things I learned during leveling and early mapping. Hence, you see if you like the character and don't get demotivated if you can't afford to throw tons of exalteds at it. The last time I played a summoner was around 2 years ago, and many things have changed in the meantime. It's also my first time ever playing as Stone Golems Elementalist. However, this is not just no problem, but even beneficial for this diary, because I learned a ton and I paid attention to even the small things that I will share with you here. I'll write down important notes in this little box so you won't miss any. Right now you see me mapping my Stone Golems Elementalist with a solid but not high-end gear on an Awakening level 3 tier 14 map. I don't have 2020 gems yet and miss a lot of damage and life on level 83. I was extremely unlucky the first weeks of the league and wanted to come back to PoE for the last months of the league with a new character. Summoners are generally very strong even without much investment and scale well into endgame, so this was an easy choice for me. I'll tell you which investments are most important later. First, let's get back at start. I began leveling with Purifying Flame together with zombies, but you can take any spell you want, it's really up to your preference. You won't feel much like a summoner until level 10, when you can pick up the Summon Skeletons gem. After I got my first points invested into minion nodes on the tree and gem links like minion damage and melee physical damage, I really started feeling like a summoner and I didn't need to damage monsters with my own spell anymore. I basically ran around with my zombies and cast skeletons in groups of enemies that will be killed while I was at the next pack already. I kept leveling like this until level 34 when I equipped one of the core items of this build, the Primordial Chain Coral Amulet. Because I wanted to switch to golems as soon as possible, I also ascended in the labyrinth and respec'd into Golem Commander on the tree. I also had the unique jewels Anima Stone, Primordial Might and Primordial Eminence handy to socket into my tree. All these things combined granted me a total of 8 golems already to be summoned at the same time. 3 from the amulet, 1 from the Ascendancy Leech of the Primordial, 1 from Golem Commander, 2 from the Anima Stone and the default one. I used nothing but stone golems at this point and it was really easy leveling. Just run and let your golems take out the enemies in your way. I still leveled up the other golem types in my offhand to have them ready later. Now, if you don't own the Primordial Jewels, you should use Feeding Frenzy as a gem link because it will make your minions aggressive, which helps with the clear a lot. Also, you might wanna wait to switch to golems until level 41, where you can start dual wielding clay shapers. After I equipped these weapons, I used Lightning, Carrion and Chaos Golem together with Feeding Frenzy to keep up this nice buff and other benefits I get for having different golem types. I also finished Cruel Lab soon for another golem with the Ascendancy Elemancer. After that, I was simply blasting to maps. The act bosses died very quickly and the clear was good too. I entered maps with all of my starter items equipped already. These are a Tabula, Dual Wield Clay Shapers, Primordial Chain Amulet and the Anima Stone with the Primordial Jewels. All that's left to do at this point is level up and build defenses and invest into better gear and especially cluster jewels. I use 3 large cluster jewels with minions deal 10% increased damage. Make sure they are at least item level 50 as the notable Rotten Claws is most important on these jewels. You need it 2 times to reach the total 100% chance to impale with the stone golems. The remaining percent you get from the impale gem itself and the dread banner. The impale mechanic is a huge damage boost to the stone golems. If you can afford them, I highly recommend switching to cold iron point daggers from the clay shapers as gem levels are another big damage boost to your golems. That's already your basic setup and you should have no issues getting into red maps like this. As the offense of this build is strong even with little investment, pushing the defense is a tad trickier. What helped me survive most situations was investing into a glorious Vanity Timeless Jewel with Xibaka on it. It changes the mind over Meta Keystone into Divine Flesh, and it also corrupts all other nodes and notables in range. Some of the changed nodes gave me chaos resistance now, and the rest I needed to get on my gear to reach a total of 86% chaos resistance. 50% of elemental damage is taken from this resistance instead now, which is very convenient. Another boost in survivability comes from my Cruel Lab Ascendancy Elemancer. Thanks to it, I have more than 100% chance to avoid all elemental ailments. My Merciless Ascendancy Paragon of Calamity also adds a lot of defense to the build with Life Leech, reduced damage taken, and immunity to reflected elemental damage. This only works for yourself and not your golems though. Therefore, I use Elder Rings with the mod you and your minions take 50% reduced reflected physical damage. I found out the hard way that these combined 100% reduced damage are getting countered by shock. The minions still kill themselves to reflected damage if they stand on shocked ground in maps. That was in fact the only time my golems died while mapping. The other time my minions died was during leveling to the Beam Piety in Act 4. So generally speaking, golems don't die. That's also needed, cause with all auras activated, there is not enough unreserved mana to summon them. Do not log out with this build, as this is the only time you have to resummon all of your golems, which is very tedious. To spam my movement skill and curse on hit with Purifying Flame, I'm running a mana flask in this setup. The enduring affix of this flask makes the effect not stop on full mana, and so it just acts like any other utility flask. I press it all the time with them together. I'm also using a quartz flask to be able to run through enemies, as generally I'm ahead of my minions while mapping. That's the general playstyle of this build. You just keep running and pressing your Flesh Offering and Convocation every now and then, and also curse on hit tougher enemies with vulnerability using Purifying Flame. You can copy my character with the current gear into your Path of Building. The link is down below in the description. What I want to do next is simply get more levels and push the character to do all the content in the game. Maybe I make some changes to the tree or skills and min-max some more. After this journey is completed, I want to release a full-blown build guide with everything I didn't cover in this diary yet, and some more in-depth knowledge on top. That's the end of this diary. I hope it helps you on your journey, and sharing my experience with this build will make sure you don't do the same mistakes as I and have a fun character progression. If you enjoyed this content, please click that subscribe button. There's plenty more YouTube videos in the works. I'd also be happy to say hi to you on my Twitch stream. I'm usually live on Twitch Wednesdays to Sundays with optional YouTube days. I'm Asu, and I hope to see you there or on my next video here. Bye!